Hi friends, welcome to the channel. My name is Nessa and today I'm going to be highlighting Roach Post developed by Carp Games. In this cozy highlight, I'll be talking about my experiences throughout the game and my thoughts on whether I think this game might be for you or not. Since there's so many great games out there but not enough time to play them all, I think it's important to highlight aspects of the game that I enjoyed and what I wasn't a fan of personally through my short time with it. Coupled with my experiences over the course of playing the game, I hope you'll be able to form a good enough impression about it to decide whether or not it's for you. So with that, let's get into it. What is Roach Post? So, Roach Post is set to release on February 17th, 2026 to PC. It's a rogue-lite puzzle game where you're trying to restore an abandoned post office through the help of your little roach workers by placing stamps on packages and also passing inspector checks. I played about an hour and a half of Roach Post before making this cozy highlight in both the normal and hardest difficulty. I didn't know what to expect when going into it for the first time, and I felt a little bit overwhelmed when the tutorial came up since it's presented to you via large paragraphs of text. However, once you start placing your first stamp down, you start to understand how this game could get pretty addicting. Whenever you pick up a stamp, it will tell you how it interacts with other stamps you've already placed on the package. You can rotate them and place them wherever you want. There are some areas on packages in different stages that will block your placement of stamps, and also some roach workers will place areas on the package that have certain effects to trigger whenever stamps are placed over them. Some stamps will give you more value when they're next to each other, and some stamps will decrease your score depending on what they're next to. Stamps also like to be placed next to the same color, so you want to strategize where you place them to get the maximum value, since once you place them together, I think their score increases. You have a limited pool of licks, which is basically your energy pool. If you think about, being a post office and licking letters, you are manually licking all these stamps, unless the roaches are licking the stamps, in which case it's still very interesting and I can see why inspectors are concerned about this place. Anyways, some stamps require more licks to place and you'll have to figure out how to reach your target goal before you run out of licks. As you successfully ship out packages, you'll get coin to upgrade your post office and increase your ability to hire more roach workers, which all have different effects. Gathering multiples of the same roaches will upgrade them, and during my playthrough, I was able to re-roll on the selections of roaches to get the ones that I wanted to hire. So I definitely went for the roaches that would give me a little bit more points whenever I discarded stamps, and that worked out pretty nicely for me. There are 3 difficulties, with the hardest one introducing roach hobbies. These affect the gameplay a little bit more, and the difficulty has less handicaps than the easier ones. Rerolling for new roach workers in the hardest difficulty will also cost money after the first few rerolls, so you have a limited resource pool to work with. If you fail to reach the target score, then your run is over and you have to start a new game. There are no upgrades for the post office beyond increasing the number of roach workers you can hire and the rarity of roaches that you might encounter while you're trying to find new roaches to hire. With that in mind, let's talk about what I liked and what I wish this did differently. So the gameplay is really addicting, as I mentioned. Just putting stamps on packages and getting points is so fun. During my first 30 minutes, I loved just placing stamps on packages and went way past the target goal because I literally just wanted to Tetris stamps together so that the package looked nice. It didn't feel too inhibiting to lose the game and start over, since I really wanted to try out the different roach worker builds to see what worked better for my playstyle. I am not a big fan of roaches in real life, to be honest. I mean, I'm sure that comes as no surprise to anyone, but the ones in this game are pretty cute with their different outfits. They are just a joy to look at, and I really like that the game will highlight workers in the shop that you've already bought, so you can upgrade them by buying multiples of the same workers. I like that you can choose your experience and the difficulty levels are different, so you have a fresh take. Once you've had enough time to learn the system better in the easier difficulties, then you can go to the harder one, which introduces more complex systems. You can play the game without really getting into the systems if you want a cozy experience, or you can dive into reading each roach worker's hobbies and skills to create your perfect roach staff. The only thing I wish was different is for the shop to either pop up right away after a stage is completed, or for it to not pop up at all and you manually open it. So right now, after you complete a package, you go back to the postal counter and you see the clients before the shop will pop up. The slight delay in the pop-up always gets me because I'm already trying to click on another client before I'm thrown into the shop menu. If the shop menu pops up right away after a package is shipped, I feel like that would flow much better. If the shop cannot pop up right away right after a stage is complete, then I'm all for manually opening it myself if I want to spend money. There is a shop button on screen, but I've never hit it because the shop will come up after every package is shipped, and I can definitely see it useful for if I didn't buy anything and then I change my mind later. But for me personally, I didn't really have a reason to open this because I would spend all my money on the Roach workers or re-rolling to get the workers I wanted before I exited the shop and start a new package. I think if you like puzzle games with a roguelite experience, then Roach Post might be for you. You can customize your experience however you want to play, so you can literally just put stamps on a package without consequences if you prefer a less stressful experience, or you can really get into the strategy of how to effectively place stamps and which Roach worker has synergy with your playstyle if you want a more challenging experience. This game is great for pick up and play as well, and I really wish that it would come out on the Switch because you can choose how big the packages you play and what difficulty of packages you want to work with. So if you don't have a lot of time, you can pick an easier one, or if you do have a lot of time and you really want to get into it, then you can choose a bigger package that might be more difficult. You don't have to go through an entire run in one sitting since the game will save your progress. This game is not a post office simulation game and there are no customization options available, so if you're hoping for a game about running a post office and purchasing new upgrades, then it might not be for you. I had quite a fun time in Roach Post, and I could definitely see myself pulling it up every now and then to put stamps on a package. So check out Roach Post releasing on February 17th for the PC. I'll leave a link to the Steam store in the description below. Wishlist it and show it some support if you're interested. Well, there you have it. Is Roach Post the game for you? If you end up playing the game, let me know what your favorite part is and which Roach is your favorite. Of course, if you like what I do and you want to see more, please consider liking and subscribing for more content like this. It will really help out the channel and hopefully more people will be able to find me. I have been Nessa and this has been a Cozy Highlight. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!